think it will be easiest for you to work this if you know what the purpose of what we're doing is. So we have made two pieces of what's going to be a scarf. We made basically a cowl and then a little bit here, right? So what we want is we want this to look like a scarf that's been draped around the neck, and then the one piece, the straight piece that we knit by itself, will kind of come from behind and up and over like it is been wrapped up. So what we want is we want the right side of the straight piece to go like this and to curl. And we want the right side of the cowl piece to also be facing out. So the right side of both of these is the side where we have two purls and one knit. And for this one, we started off with two purls, and then we went and we decreased a little bit just to give this a little bit of a taper. So this is the top, the side with the taper is the top, also where we bound off. And so we're going to be putting this so that the wrong side and the wrong side are together, so that when this drapes up and over, the right side and the right side are showing. I'm going to turn this inside out. I've marked where I the final end of, like the beginning of round here. I can see my end as well where I've woven it in, just so that I'm going to work across from this. It isn't absolutely essential that you work identically across. You could also cover up where your join is, because this will be coming up and over and hiding things, but I'm just letting you know why this is here. It's just, for me, I'm going to work kind of across from it. It doesn't matter exactly, because we can rotate this a little bit and make things look adorable. So I've got the tapered edge is my top edge. The wider edge is not going to be where we're sewing. Then I need to put the wrong side, which is this side, which has more knit stitches on it, against the wrong side of this. And we're going to do it kind of like this. And we want it to be high enough up that lots of the scarf is going to be available to drape over the other side. We don't want it too low down, and we want it to just be something where we can kind of grab it and just sew across the bottom, stitching this on. So if, like me, you are paranoid that you've got it right, the wrong side and the wrong side, just kind of pin it down maybe with your sewing needle, and then you can flip it and see if you've got it right. And I can see that I've got it right, so we're good. I need to use the end we left, so I'm going to put that on my yarn needle. I want to stitch, like I said, fairly high up. In the pattern, it says to stitch to sort of the last round of the ribbing. That's a very high, and you might find it difficult to hold things like that. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a whip stitch. So I'm going to go and I'm going to grab part of the cowl part. So this is my sort of last stitch. So I'm going to either grab here or here. I think I'm going to grab the second one up this time. It's just looking a little better. I'm going to grab part of that. I'm going to call this the cowl and this the scarf, just for clarity, but it is all visually going to become one scarf. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to grab another piece of the cowl, go through this edge of the scarf. We're just going to go along. You don't have to do this like millimeter by millimeter. Don't worry about that part. You just want to be going along, grabbing a bit of each piece. Once you're about a third or halfway through, just take a moment and have a look to see, again, if you were to have that draping over, is it going to look good? In the biggest thing is that we don't want this edge so close that you're actually going to see where you've sewn. So that when that's draping over, what we're seeing is the drape of it coming up and over, as opposed to, oh, look, there's the edge where we sewed it. All right, last tip is before you actually weave in this end, just flip it back out. Have a look and see if it looks the way you like it. I think this looks great. If you can see, it's a little hard with the camera angles, but this is going to look like it's coming up and over and just draping adorably. So that's great. So I know that I've done the right thing. I haven't sewed the wrong side to the right side or whatever. I'm often very paranoid about this. Having blithely just like gone ahead with things and woven in ends and realized to my horror that I haven't done things right. I'm just going to weave down this little rib here. And so I'm going to take this side of the V. So here's the V that I'm talking about. I'm just going to take this side of the stitches and I'm just going to go under the leg here of each of these, this left side of this ribbing. I'm just going to go down like this. And if this is a decoration, I'll just cut it. If it's a toy, I usually then go back up the other way, at least a few stitches. If things are toys, it's a good idea to be using knots or to be weaving your ends in multiple directions so that stretch in one direction doesn't like completely pop that end out. It's very unlikely with this piece though that will happen. So I can just cut this, just be happy with our cute little scarf. The reason we did this way is because I really wanted to remove the bulk of having to knit a big long piece of scarf and then tie it. That gets really bulky on the tiny little gnomes. So this gives us a really great illusion scarf. And I hope you enjoyed this surprise as much as I did planning it.